Welcome back to Fox Eyes on the Hill Live this Sunday morning. 10 people were killed in the first 5 days in July in D.C., including an Afghan military interpreter for the United States, a social studies teacher from Kentucky, and a Montgomery County Community College student on summer break. The trail of grief from gun violence is long in our region, and D.C. district leaders are struggling to reduce gun violence. Ward 2 Councilmember Brooke Pinto just introduced emergency legislation that she says will work to curb this scourge of violence and give authorities additional tools they need to rein in violence. Councilmember Brooke Pinto joining us live this Sunday morning. Councilmember, good to see you again. You know, obviously in the last couple of days, once again, the district has been rocked by these shocking murders. Are people getting numb to this, and is that an even more troubling situation right now that we have this repeat over and over and over again about these kinds of stories?
Well, good morning, Tom, and thank you so much for having me. And thank you for highlighting some of the really tragic deaths that we have already experienced as a community this summer, this month. And my heart goes out to the families. It is unacceptable what's going on, but it has to be more than my heart and more than our thoughts. We have to take action. And that's really what this emergency bill is all about. I am the chairwoman of the Committee on Judiciary and Public Safety. We're working on a number of policy changes and pieces of legislation on a permanent basis that we hope to move in the fall. Everything from supporting our violence prevention efforts to our first responders to efforts to end cycles of violence and supporting folks who are returning. And we can't wait until the fall to act. And so this emergency bill is really a combination of many of the items proposed in Mayor Bowser's piece of legislation last month, as well as my accountability and victims protection bill that I introduced last month. We had a 12-hour hearing last week where over 170 witnesses signed up to testify on Mayor Bowser's Safer, Stronger legislation. And we heard a lot of great feedback from people, primarily saying we have to do more to address crime and violence, but also some specific ideas for changes to some of the language in that bill. And
let's get into some of those ideas, though, because, you know, not every young person clearly commits a crime. But in a lot of these crimes that we've talked about this spring and summer, young people are involved. So one of the criticisms we've heard about the district, obviously, is that the district laws have been soft on crime. The Congress, controlled by Republicans, struck down the rewriting of a lot of these laws. Talk to us about what you want to do with the Prioritizing Public Safety Emergency Amendment Act when it would come to young people specifically, and that they are not getting arrested and turned around back out on the street to do this kind of stuff again.
Sure. Well, we have seen too many cases this year where somebody is on pretrial release and recommits another violent crime. And right now, the juvenile detention statute is similar to the adult statute in that there's a presumption of release post-trial unless the person or the child is deemed a flight risk or a danger to the community. But how we describe and define danger to the community is relatively narrow in that you have to commit a crime of violence while armed with a gun. And so my emergency seeks to change that definition to say there's a presumption of release unless you've committed a crime of violence, period. So that can capture a larger category of cases like the carjackings that we've seen, like assaults at knife point that we've seen that are extremely violent in nature, but don't necessarily just involve a gun. So we can make sure that we are protecting the community from any repeat instances of violence.
And in your view, is reputation important as well, too? Because sometimes when you will talk to law enforcement officials, they'll say, while police officials can come out and make these statements of the tragedies of these incidents, and politicians can do it as well, the people who are committing these crimes operate on reputations. They know they maybe be able to do this in one part of the area more than another part, so they try to steer clear of the part where they're going to get punished the most. Is there a danger here that if a place like D.C. doesn't up these penalties, doesn't up these safeguards, that reputation is just going to continue to grow as a place where these kinds of violent crimes can take place where that recompens?
Well, I do worry about some of the anecdotes that I continue to hear, sometimes from young people themselves, who will communicate about what folks are talking about that they may be able to get away with. I do think when it comes to a larger scale look at our penalty system, that does deserve a comprehensive rewrite, similar that we move forward in the Revised Criminal Code Act that just dealt with our adult system, so that we can make sure that our penalty enhancements are in line. But there are some gaps right now that I hear from people in the community, from our law enforcement partners. That's another piece that this bill shares in it, that there's a standalone offense now in this bill for discharging a firearm in public. We have a major problem right now where folks have been shooting into the public. They don't necessarily hit somebody, but as Chief Conte used to say, the only difference between shooting a gun in public and a homicide is a matter of aim. And so we have to make sure that we can go after those crimes as well.
Well, D.C. Councilmember Brooke Pinto from Ward 2, we thank you for joining us live this Sunday morning to talk about this new initiative to get tough on crime in D.C. That's going to do it for this Sunday's On the Hill. I want to thank all of our guests this morning. Coming up at the top of the hour, of course, Fox News Sunday with Shannon Bremer. Guests this Sunday include Republican Senator John Barrasso and presidential candidate Chris Kiske. We'll see you back here next week.